Now, I know we're not a huge community, but some of you may be asking yourself, why is he posting on a Friday instead of the typical Saturday or Sunday like he has been the last, 6 months? Well, that's because today, Friday, we are commemorating our 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. Hooray! And so now to commemorate our 1 year here on YouTube, I want to talk about some of my favorite things from the past year. And so I'm going to break this video down into 3 different categories. My favorite rewatch of the past year, my favorite piece of media from the past year, whether it was an anime or whether it was a game or a movie, and my favorite experience of the last year. And throughout each of those categories, I'll probably have some honorable mentions, but we'll see. Now, with all that said, let's get into my favorite rewatch of this year. And to me, I think this is my easiest category to pick out of, simply because I have rewatched a decent amount of things this year, but nothing really compared to my absolute favorite. Now, I say all that, but I have rewatched some bangers in the last year. I rewatched Gravity Falls, I rewatched Free Rent for the second time, and I rewatched Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Right now, I'm still making my way through that, but none of those rewatches had the same kind of impact on me as when I rewatched Code Geass last year. And although I won't go too much into detail about why I really enjoyed it, because I already made a video about it, if I were to just summarize my experience with rewatching Code Geass, I was just amazed the whole time. I had forgotten about so many of the little details, the little character moments, plot lines from the series that rewatching it for the first time in, I think it'd been about 10 years, it felt like I was watching it for the first time all over again. And even though I knew how the series ended, Zero Requiem, much like how I talked about in my Code Geass video, it hits. It's still one of my favorite endings in all of media. And although, rewatching Gravity Falls, Free Rent, Saint Seiya, 5Ds, so many other things didn't quite hit like Code Geass did, I still really enjoyed all of those. And I don't typically rewatch series, so those pieces of media hold a special place in my heart, and I'm glad that I got a chance to rewatch pretty much anything this year. Because, as your typical American consumer, we're always kind of going to the new thing. What's flashy, what's going on that's, a brand new thing. So I appreciated taking a step back this year before consuming some of my favorite new media of the last year. Now, if the last category was the easy difficulty, this is very hard because I consumed a lot of new media in the last year. Whether it was music, video games, manga, anime, you name it, I probably touched some form of media that I was just like, oh wow, this is my new favorite thing. Before moving to the next thing, being like, oh wow, this is my new, you guys know how it goes. Games like Tekken 8, Marvel Rivals, Helldivers 2 brought me closer to some of my friends. Movies that I'd never seen, like Lord of the Rings, Conclave, La La Land, all captivated my attention and kept me at the edge of my seat. And anime such as Too Many Losing Heroines, Dan Da Dan, and Free Run just absolutely wowed me last year. But if I had to give my favorite piece of media to one thing, it would definitely be Tatsuki Fujimoto's Look Back. Now, I've already made a video on Look Back as well, but I really just want to emphasize how much I appreciated this as a film. As a film, it was awesome. Granted, as a manga one-shot, it was great. But as a film, I really thought that the crew did an awesome job of elevating that story to its next level. Because see, that's one of the biggest criticisms that I hear as a manga/anime enjoyer about manga. There's no music, there's no voice acting, it's just all black and white panels. And so I am not part of that camp. I love both anime and manga as a medium, but I can completely see how something like Look Back was taken in its manga format and then made into something even better with voice acting, with animation, and with music. Because some of those scenes, including the rain scene in Look Back, although they were great in the manga, I think that they're even better in the film. At least in my opinion, because again, I can totally appreciate the music, the voice acting, the animation, everything about Look Back as a film, but that doesn't discredit as to how great of a job and how great of a story Tatsuki Fujimoto did in his original one-shot. And so this little mini section of the video right now is going to be me encouraging you guys to go read, please go read Goodbye Eri, because if you guys liked or loved Look Back, I think Goodbye Eri is just as good, if not better than this. Or if you guys just want the default answers, Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man, also really good, but different. And finally, before moving on to the last category, I will pull out an honorable mention for this category, as I really, really like Metaphor ReFantasio. I just haven't finished it yet. And every time I remind myself, hey, you should probably finish Metaphor, I just don't get to it. I just unfortunately have to go touch grass sometimes, despite the fact that it keeps trying to pull me back in. Metaphor as a game is probably one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. It's at least one of my favorite games of all time at this point. I know that I need to finish it, and I can't say that with 100% certainty until I actually do so. Its combat, its music, its characters, all of them just extremely captivating to me, and I will finish it one day. I'll get there, I promise. But to close off this video, I'm going to want to talk about my favorite experience of the last year. And this is easily going to be the hardest category. Because the human experience isn't quite linear, at least not for me. There's just been so many moments in the past year where I've thought to myself, in the simplest of terms, this is peak. But those moments are so much more than that. I mean, I attended Combo Breaker for the first time, which was my first fighting game tournament in general. I loved that. I got to go to Mexico and celebrate my sister's quinceañera. And I mean, I even started this in the last year. I started this channel in the last year, and we've grown. We've grown since day one, and I hope to keep growing as time goes on. So thank you guys for all your support so far. So yeah, the human experience itself is really hard to quantify. So for this category, my favorite experience within the last year was being alive and being able to live through all of these wonderful memories with some of the closest people in my life. And I look forward to keep doing that for as long as I'm allowed to. But to close off this video on a much less heavy topic, an honorable mention for me in terms of one of my favorite experiences of the last year would be that I got back into Magic. Now, I played Magic back in high school, much like how I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in middle school and high school, but I just grew away from the game. I stepped away as I was doing stuff outside with my friends, and I just never got back into it until after college. And the main reason as to why I got back into Magic was because of Universes Beyond. I saw that Lord of the Rings had a set, and even though at that point I had never seen Lord of the Rings, I thought to myself, that's really cool. And so yeah, getting back into Magic casually over the last year has been one of my favorite experiences. I mean, even the other day when I was opening up my Final Fantasy packs, I was just geeking out the whole time. I never would have thought that I would have had the opportunity to see some of my favorite characters from the Final Fantasy franchise in a game of Magic, and although, yes, there's some discourse about Universes Beyond and whatnot, I don't mind. I think that it's a great opportunity to bring in new players. But again, that's just my opinion, and I've only been playing Magic casually again for about a year and a half now, so it is what it is, and I just think it's great. But with all that out of the way, I would like to once again thank everyone who's been here in the last year, supporting me in this little hobby of mine, and I hope to keep captivating y'all in the year that's about to come. So again, thank you for the continued support. And so now it's your guys' turn. What's been one of your favorite things that's gone on in the last year? Please feel free to let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed what you saw, drop a like and share the video, or subscribe. This has been Soggy Taco, and I will see you guys, like I have in the last year, for another video very soon. Hasta luego.